Hello everyone, once again it's me, Ilelemwanta Nomaren, and this is Verse Breakdown. The verse that I want to discuss today is Romans chapter 12 verse 1, which reads, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. What does this verse mean? Well, St. Paul was alluding to ancient Israelite sacrifices. In Leviticus chapter 11, God through Moses told the Israelites what they could and couldn't sacrifice, animals that were clean and weren't clean. And in the same vein, there are people who don't have the right heart condition to worship God and people who do. For example, in 1 Chronicles chapter 25, Amaziah was given the biographical treatment of all the other kings. But there's something interesting about him. 2 Chronicles chapter 25 verse 2 says, And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart. He went through all the sacrifices and the rites, but he didn't actually believe in it. And that's why in verse 14, he went and worshipped Edom's gods. However, Daniel twice proved his righteousness in Daniel chapter 1 verse 8 and Daniel chapter 6 verse 10 by refusing to bend to the whims of others, to worship other people's gods. No, he stuck with God because his heart was in the right place. And if we want to be like Daniel and not like Amaziah, we must learn to not love the world. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 to 17. And this includes staying away from stuff associated with the world, listed in Galatians chapter 5, verses 21 and 22, and staying away from people who embody those principles. It is with this kind of action that we can actually be acceptable to God, because we're being holy, like God is, according to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And we are being holy because we are following God's law. And the law of God, of course, is holy. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. Romans chapter 7, verse 12. And where do the mercies of God and reasonable service come in? Well, it is because of God's mercy that we're able to worship Him in the first place, because we are sinners. And if God looked at our sin and tried to judge us for it fully, then we'd all be dead, according to Psalms chapter 143, verse 2. David asked God, Don't enter into judgment with me, or else I will be found completely guilty. And plus, if it weren't for God sending Jesus Christ to this world, according to 1 John chapter 4, verse 9, then even if we were completely righteous, then because of Adam's sin, we still wouldn't be able to get life. And as for reasonable service, because God created us, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, and because the Bible says that it is our duty to serve God, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, then of course it is reasonable for us to have to serve Him. That's what we give back to God for all that He has done for us. To conclude this verse breakdown, I'm going to recite Isaiah chapter 66, verse 20, because it summarizes what I've said thus far. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. That is where I think I can stop in discussing the verse Romans chapter 12, verse 1, which once again reads, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening.